Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the TechGig webinar. Thank you for joining the session today. The topic of today's webinar is Impact of Digital Technologies on Projects Delivery. We expect the session to last for an hour with around 40 to 45 minutes for the presentation and the remaining 15 minutes for the Q&A. So if you have any questions, please send them to us using the Questions tab on the GoToWebinar control panel. I'm Sabah, the moderator of this session, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce you all to our guest speaker, Mr. Ranga Sarath Kumar, Head Delivery Management Academy, Wipro Technologies. Mr. Ranga is an MBA in marketing with 29 years of rich experience in IT services delivery, managing complex IT outsourcing engagements for customers across the globe. He has managed customers from different segments like corporate, private, government, defense, public sector, educational, banking, etc., and handled a large team size of 1,000 plus IT professionals spread across the globe, generating revenue of $100 million per year. So without any further delay, let me introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Mr. Ranga.
Yeah, thanks, Sabah. Hi, everybody. As the topic says, today we are going to discuss about the impact of digital technologies on projects delivery, right? In fact, people, some analysts call it as digital revolution, right? That's what is the topic we have today. Before we get into the subsequent slides, I would like you to just make a note of a few points. Number one is the scope of this session is for the development projects, right? Digital has impact on all type of engagements, supply maintenance, product implementations, testing, different types. Current scope is limited to development. That's one point. And all the points what we are going to discuss, different views, they're all based on the analyst views, like Gartner's, KPMG's, McKinsey, and different white papers, technical discussions, what we gathered, across the globe. And the points what we are going to discuss here may not be applicable to 100% of the cases. What I mean is, when I say an organization may struggle identifying their own business requirements, right? Need not be every organization may struggle. So these points you understand that as in the majority of the cases, right? Take that as an overall guideline. So I want you to just have a clarity of these three aspects before we further get into the subsequent slides. Now let's move. Yeah. The agenda of this today's session is that first let us focus on a couple of key factors which are influencing on the business today. We'll see that, and what are their influence on the overall business and how they're indirectly and directly influencing the development process for IT services business. And then we'll look at how business reinvention is happening due to digital. It is not a small change, it is a complete reinvention. That's the keyword here. We'll see some examples of different businesses and different segments. Points of the section 1 and 2 are required for us to get into section 3. That's where actually we will see how exactly the change in the business is impacting the project delivery life cycle. That's what actually we'll see in the section number 3. I will summarize the overall what we covered in section 1 and 2 and 3, and finally we'll leave for the Q&A. So first let us get into key factors influence the business today. One is obviously the internet, and if you look at the latest statistics, 50.1% of the world's population, around 7.3 billion of total population, 50% use internet, have access to internet as of today. Huge. And look at the mobility, access of mobile, right? 63% across the globe, right? So these are the two key factors, technologies, which have significant impact on the way entire business is being done across the globe. There are also other technologies, but these two technologies, the way they penetrated, having a massive impact. So what is the impact they have? Now, because of this, business is moving from inside office to outside office, right? What I mean is, before these technologies evolved, an organization enterprise used to have an employees, their own staff, and they used to handle the business. They used to organize the complete organized operations, right? That they got into outside the office. Now their end customers, they have access to all the operations now. End customers, they can do every transaction today, whether procurement or in the sales, or they can see the status of their insurance policy, they can see the status of their bank accounts, every business. So the office environment is moving from inside to outside because of this. End users have the direct access to all the products and services what an organization provides, right? That's what actually one of the impact. And any vendor can serve any customer across the globe due to internet. Now, entire world is accessible to anybody, right? So because of these two above factors, what is the impact? Organizations, any organization have to compete globally today, right? They are having efficient internal systems is not sufficient. It's only a hygiene, right? They should have a best in class in their segment. Suppose if you take in a hospital, right? They should have best in class systems, in their segment. For example, what is the doctor appointment process, right? Which should be unique in the world, right? For example, docket tracking for a docket, company, which should be unique in the world, right? So your systems having a efficient internal systems is not sufficient. So that is the pressure which is happening on all the business companies today. So it's a complete serious impact on the business, every business. When the business itself is impacting for every customer, it has a direct impact on IT industry. Why? Because we are the IT people serve the customers and to improve their processes, help in their own business. So that's what actually which is happening right now. So these two factors, internet availability and mobility, are having the massive impact for our business. Gartner calls this, they call it as digital industrial economy, right? How you compete successfully in the rapidly changing digital industrial economy, right? So this is a challenge for every organization in the world today, struggle for existence, right? And organizations should have, efficient internal systems, efficient people who can think totally innovative, right? So it has come to that stage where it is inevitable for every organization to be best in the class, right? Otherwise, people will get into the likes of the Nokia as far as mobile is concerned, or is a Kodak. They will get into that mode and they may even vanish very soon. So there is a pressure which is there on the organizations and the business. Now, let us have a quick look at what is the reinvention which is happening in the business due to digital. Why I want to show this is because the business itself which is changing has impact on our in the sense IT services what we provide to the customers. When their own business is changing, our own IT service delivery also will change. That's the reason why I want people to have a quick look at how the business is being reinvented due to digital. Before we even get into it, what is the digital? This is a big question. Even if you Google, you don't get a simple definition, right? But some of the analysts, there's a simple definition what they give. Digital is providing a unique experience. That's the keyword, right? Provide unique experience to the customers with the innovative business models, right? So whichever the business they are into, whether they are into healthcare, they are into logistics, they are into banking, whichever it is. The technology should provide unique experience to them, right? That's what actually is, if you want me to put a very high level, what is the digital? So now I show some of the business examples. Just keep watching for this. All the examples I'm going to show there. See whether it is a unique experience or not, and is it going to be an innovative business process, in that segment or not. Finally, you should create a wow factor of the customer, right? That's what actually is expected today. Now let me show some of the examples. Right? The cab booking, the process. You know how it got changed. It's a total transformation. If you see a few years back how the process used to happen if you want to book a cab, it's totally different from today. If you see Eaas and Uber, they use a sophisticated technology like the GPS, analytics, big data, real-time mobile. All these sophisticated technologies are using to give this service. Now, it's unimaginable for people, just if you want to book a cab, just have a mobile and you can see a real-time status of your cab. See a movie industry in the media. right? So here, in future, the screens are going to be like this. It not be only one side, one screen is going to be three-sided. It gives a totally different experience to the patterns. Driverless car, which is already available in the market, right? Not so commercially, but is proven in the market, right? So now, the car manufacturing company, for them, if they don't get into this automated driverless car technology, they'll not be able to survive. It's a total change in their business. Transparent mobiles. So now mobiles are, then this technology has come. You need not have to worry about breakability and all. There brake is not breakable. You can bend it. There is no top and bottom. There is no front and back. It's excellent. All the problems which are taken care here in the existing models, the new systems have come out. Keep observing. I'm showing different examples from different segments. In the hospital industry, now surgery is being totally managed by high-end technology robots. And the doctor need not have to be physically there. He can even do surgery sitting in US for a patient who is there in India, right? Massive change in the hospital industry. Foldable TV. You can even fold the TV now. Imagine, what kind of change this is bringing into the systems, into the people. Artificial intelligence, everything is by robots. The analysts predict, Gartner predicts that around 50% of the activities that are happening today, any industry, are going to be automated by robots by 2020. So this is going to have a massive impact. In fact, most of the IT service companies, when we get customer service tickets, when we do support and maintenance, the software is going to control. Software is going to understand the ticket and is going to resolve even the tickets. Where the software itself can detect the solution and detect the problem and find out the solution. So that will reduce even the way you are the amount of manpower you are going to deploy on those kind of projects. Every industry, this robots and artificial intelligence is going to have a massive impact. Google, for example, when you want to Google, you can just give anything. It's called natural language processing. It's a robot which is going to read your instructions and dig the information, give it to you. Media, everything is e-magazines now. So it is a massive change in their own business. No need to even they don't need a paper, they don't need to cut the trees, and paper production process will change, and distribution process will change, right? Its impact will be right up to the paper boys. So you keep on observing, every business, it is a massive change. It is not an incremental change, it's a massive change which is happening, thanks to digital. These robots which are available in already in Australia, if you see that, robot will deliver you pizza at home. Impact on the, on the transportation, delivery, those kind of segments will get impacted because of this. Drones delivering the pizza or any object, right? In fact, these kind of technologies will even impact the transport industry, right? Because every of these changes not only have impact on that particular business process, there is a cascading impact as well. Now, people may not have to even travel to deliver the objects. That may have impact directly on the transportation industry there. Now, it's not even touch. It's just vision based. You need not have to even touch the screen, and based on the vision it knows and it operates. Suitcase following you is another latest technology which is available in the market, right? So again, this brings, it is a configurable. You can configure to through your mobile, and it's attached to your mobile, and it follows you. The technology is there, today. So that will have a change in the industry, this industry, specific industry. Why I'm showing these different examples, as I told, every business is changing drastically, right? It is a new invention which is by University of Minnesota. It is a mind-controlled robotic arm, right? So this is, you need to even touch it. You have to just think in your mind. If you think that you want to lift, you are going to lift the red cube, it gets lifted by the arm. So this kind of technology may be really helpful even for the physically handicapped people, right? This is called electroencephalography. It will have a massive change. This is another very good technology which is called holoporting, invented by Microsoft. If you look at this person is there in this room, right? And this person is not physically there in this room, right? He may be in this subscreen picture on picture. What you see is that where exactly he is there. He may be in some other city or some other country, right? But because of holo putting technology, which works through, you will see different cameras here, right? And it works through the technology, and it simulates the object here. So it looks as if this person is physically available here, right? Excellent technology, right? These kind of things may have a cascading impact. For example, if this comes very prominent, it actually gets implemented across the globe, it will bring a lot of changes. For example, you have car manufacturing companies. They have to put different, cars every at their showroom. They have to display the cars, right? If they follow this holo putting, they may not physically invest on so many cars in each showroom. They can put some central place, and when you go to a showroom in your own city, you can see the car as if the car is there in front of you. So people can conceive different type of applications, and those aspects of business will change. Look at this. This is a change in the garment industry where you can change your color, the color of your dress code. You have a blue color shirt. All of this sudden, on the fly, you can make it as a red or any other color which you like. It is possible today. All that you have to have is your mobile with that app, and you can choose which other color, and it happens. It is possible, right? It works. When you manufacture the cloth, it has to be manufactured with a nano LED bulb technology. So it may bring some change in this garment industry. You see automated intelligent fridge. This fridge, once you consume, it is sensor based. Once you consume, so say water bottles. Once you consume 2 water bottles and only 2 remaining, if you configure like that, the moment it comes down to minimum quantity, it automatically sends a message to the nearest shop, and the shop owner, if they have even a drone technology, they can even send it to your house, and they will be directly dispatched, and they come and put in your fridge, and it get directly debited to your account. So people are thinking this kind of automation. Is automated car where it is, you need not to worry about the maintenance. It self-detects. The moment it finds a problem, it will automatically fix an appointment with the service center. It checks your Outlook calendar and does, and it can also indicate what likely spare parts which are required. Everything is automated. So that may bring a lot of changes in that car manufacturing industry as well. This is very interesting. Amazon already implemented, you would have seen that. It is called Amazon Go. It's a new invention from Amazon, where the shops which are there today with this technology, there is no billing system there. You have to just walk into the shop, and the moment you walk in, it senses that you have entered the shop, and based on the card, and you can pick up which are the items you want. The moment you remove an item from the shelf, it automatically debits to your account. And if you want to put it back, you don't like it, want to put it back, it will again credit it back to your account. So net how it happens is, you just walk into the shop, pick up which are the items you want, and just walk out. Finish. So it is people are getting into that kind of invention. So this technology will change the complete business process of retail industries, right? Outlets. Look at this. These are new generation tires, right? So then the future, that the tires are going to be like this. Is a sphere-like. Is not a normal tire like what you are used to, right? So what is the advantage? Advantage is now the car can travel, the vehicle can go 360 degrees anyway on the road, right? It is a totally different invention than which is there today. Of course, this may not be real applicable in India. May not be real useful in India, because in India with the current tires also we just travel like this on the roads. That's a different issue. Look at this. This is a robo doctor. So doctor need not have to physically come there, and he can directly see the patient, and all the reports are already available online, and doctor has a direct interaction with the patient, and he can take a decision on what prescription to be given to the patient. Change in the hospital industry. Robo lawyer. Now IBM Watson, IBM their own AI product, right? It is more powerful that it's called a robo lawyer. It can do with a 90% more efficiency than a manual job which is being done by the lawyers, right? To find out the likely matching of similar cases across the globe, right? So it has much faster access to the database, and it can give a results much faster than what a lawyer can do manually. So now because of this, some of the analysts say that the number of people who are getting into law profession in US has come down drastically. Is a completely 3D printed house? Is the first house printed completely by 3D printers? First aircraft printed by 3D printers? Year printed, heart is being printed. Some of the things are really good, because it may really help the society, with these kind of things which will really help society as well. Now, robo printed different objects. You can print a shoe, you can print a anything. So now 3D printing is another massive change, this is going to impact the entire manufacturing industry of any sector. So now, looking at these kind of changes, right? These kind of changes in the business which is happening because of digital, right? So now, what is it? It's going to impact the customers. Even before that, what is the customers are expecting today? We have end customers. We have new technologies, all the digital technology. We have product service companies. Anybody who give a product or service. We have IT companies. We have startups. So all these different entities, they're there to serve the customers. So what the expectation of the customer? They want safe online shopping, they want open 24/7 open, they want a quick service, they want to enjoy the personalized service with the local expertise, and they want to do a transaction using a digital cash, and they want to access your products using omni-channel, and they would like to do consumer reviews. They would like to go to reviews before they take any decision. So this is the way the customer expectations are also changing, considering the current change in the entire world due to digital. Now, core theme of the digital, is that, experience as a service. That's the core theme. People would like to experience everything as a service. They don't want to invest. They don't want to own an asset, right? The trend is changing from product to services. People don't want to buy any product. That's what is visible through your, say, for example, cloud. People don't want to invest in their own hardware and software. They want to directly use and pay as a subscription fee, right? They don't want to have their own investment on any different software, having an on-premises. They want to use it on a cloud. So this is the overall impact is end customers today. They want to experience everything as a service, right? That is another which is major change in the customer expectations as well. Can you use a car without buying it? Yes, it is possible. Which is there, which is what Olas and Ubers they are able to provide to you today. And if you observe actually, Ola and Uber, they don't have a single car of their own. It is a single program which they are able to manage and they are able to control, high level. As I said earlier, each of these things not only changing the business of that particular segment, there is a cascading impact as well. In this case, because people are not going to have their own cars, the analysts predict that there is going to be a reduction in the cars production now. People may not prefer buying a car now, even because it's available as a small service. Just click a button, I have a car. It will reduce the road accidents because most of the individuals may not drive. So analysts predict that it also may reduce road accidents. Because accidents will come down, it may even hit the insurance business. Look at the cascading impact, right? So all these technologies which are there are not only impacting the respective business, they are also going to impact the related businesses, right? Now, Ola is also coming with something new. It's called Fly Now. It is yet to come, very prominent, but they recently initiated. So things are changing very drastic, compared to 10, 20, 30 years back. The way the changes used to happen, the pace is totally different than what we have which is happening last 2 to 3 years. Can you use mobile without having it? Yes, it is possible today. You don't need to buy a mobile. You can just have a sensor. That's it. And it senses the signals and it displays the mobile on your hand, right? So you need not to worry about maintenance, mobile maintenance, hardware, software, viruses, upgrades, everything is taken care. That's what actually is the meaning. People don't want to buy an asset, but they want to enjoy the benefits, right? So this is the way business trend which is happening. So the mantra for today's business is disrupt or get disrupted, right? You should be able to invent, you should be able to disrupt, right? Your competition, otherwise you will get disrupted. If you don't, you have to develop your own business models. For example, we take Samsung's, right? They come with a new model. They are killing their own models, right? So the same thing will happen in every segment. It has to happen like that. If you don't do that, then you will become a history soon, like Kodak and Nokia's, right? So now with that background, why I give that background is that how business is changing, not a incremental change, is a drastic change. right? And how it's going to impact our project's delivery, right? Because there is a change in the way they are doing a business. You know, the bank transaction is totally different today. If you go and ask a hospital user how you'd like to have your doctor appointment process, they are not in a position to tell you because they don't know down the line 6 months how it's going to change. That is what actually is impact which is happening in the software delivery. Now let me take you through what is the impact on software industry specific to development projects, as I said in the scope, and how it's going to impact. That's what actually I'll take you through. As you know, the current process is a waterfall model. Majority of the things what we have been following in the industry last 30, 40 years. Here there is a customer, they do some business, and there are some business users, they run the operations, and we go them and we ask them what is the requirement, and after taking the requirements, we do the estimations, and with the pricing to develop the software, and there's an architecture aspect which is taken care there. You do architect and you design the systems, and we also develop the software, and we do the final testing, and that will be given to the customers implemented, right? So this is a typical waterfall model which has been following in this industry last several decades, right? Now, because of digital, let us look how it's going to impact, where it's going to impact. The customer itself, they are getting impacted. That's what example we saw. Their own business is getting impacted, the way they are doing a business. Users' requirements, users' definition itself is changing, requirements are also changing, right? We'll see down the line how it's getting impacted. Pricing is also changing. Architecture is changing. The way you do architecture today is totally different, right? The way you do design is totally different. The way we do development is different. Testing is different. How you are going to implement, who are going to use the system, that's also is going to be different, right? So if you look at entire process is getting impacted because of digital. Now we'll just see each of these things bit of a detail. First of all, the life cycle itself is changing today, right? It's already changed. If you see the statistics which are there across the world, 51% of people are leaning toward agile, and around 16% pure agile projects and 24% hybrid, and very few percent who are very, very keen on waterfall, right? So we analysts don't predict that the waterfall will get vanish completely. It may not. It may be there. Some project may still go there, but the penetration of the agile methodology is much higher in the last couple of years, and is going to increase much more. So what is agile and why is agile? So I'm not getting into the details of this agile itself, but very high level. Agile is, I'm sure you must be aware, is incremental delivery, right? Instead of giving everything at once, you are going to give instead of giving everything at once, you are going to give in small pieces. That so that customer knows that they are going to get what exactly they are going to get, how they are going to get, and they can see the benefits of that, and they can redefine, they can give further requirements. This methodology, the waterfall methodology, one of the major disadvantages has been we give once every end output only at the end of the project, which could be 9 months or 10 months or whatever the duration. And in case of any differences, and that will be known at the end. So there's a huge gap which is happening in this waterfall model, which is addressed in agile methodology. So this agile methodology has been there in the last several years. Need not be due to digital, because it is due to the major disadvantage which in the waterfall model people got into agile. Now because of digital, it is also becoming more prominent, because customers have to cope up with the dynamically changing business processes, because their own processes are going to change very dynamic. They can't invest in a large projects which are having a very high schedule, right? Because their own business is drastically changing. That's why they are also very keen to get into agile mode kind of delivery, so that they know how the business is going to change and how the IT is going to really help them there. And if you observe the agile, your experience, each sprint of agile is going to again based on the waterfall model. Within a sprint we follow the waterfall model. So your experience of waterfall model is not going to be in vain. But what we need to do is to understand agile and see your experiences used there to execute the agile project with more efficiency. So the experience what we receive, what we got in this waterfall is not going to be in waste. Now, business processes are, as I mentioned, they are going to be, they are already reinvented. Any industry, you take a hospital, you take, you see any industry, you take airlines industry, hotel industry, any industry which is getting impacted, right? Whether you take a bank, whether you take slide. A college, in fact, like what we saw, holoporting may also change a lot in the education industry. Now, a professor need not have to travel; he can be there in some other country and he can take the session. They can use that kind of technology in colleges, in education industry. A docket of transport industry, logistics industry will have a lot of change, right? People can even track the docket in a real-time mode. That is possible today. And automated manufacturing, everything is through robots, 3D printing, controls. Telecom industry. You take any industry, there is an impact. And the trend today is that most of these enterprises, they are setting up their own startups, or they are acquiring their own startups because they would like to see how their own business is going to change. Now, from the IT perspective, this is one change which we have to, the IT service segment has to take care, right? People, the current understanding that IT service providers, IT professionals, they think that they are from IT experience, they are technical experts, and the business has to be the requirements, and they'll use the technology and they'll give a solution. So that mode has to change now, right? So because the way the business itself is changing, customers are expecting IT companies, to also understand the business, and they interact directly with the customer's business representatives, right? Business users understand the business and recommend solutions. So the change of IT segment, right? IT professionals should be from projecting themselves as technical people to projecting themselves as a business technical people, with a business knowledge. So that is a change which people have to be prepared with. Now, we are looking at how the changes are happening here on each and every phase. We saw that how the business it should be changing. Now, who are the users now? Right, definition of user also is changing. Now, I think this question pan is coming every time. Definition of user itself is changing. The people in the organization alone are not users anymore. They are not users anymore. They are not users alone, because they are not only the people who are going to control the Sabha?
Yes, Mr. Ranka.
Yeah, this question pan is coming every time on the screen. How can I control that? Because it is.
Okay, I'll take care of it. You may please continue.
Yeah, it is interrupting. I'm not able to control.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the key differences is users definition itself is changing. Unlike earlier times, organization who's being managed by the people, they are not users alone. The people, because the activities are being done by people outside as well, and their end customers, because of the mobile penetration. So they can do their own transaction, they can check their insurance balance, they can check their bank balance, any transaction being done by the end users. That's why user definition itself is changing. Now the challenge because of this is that we should understand the end user expectations, because if you take a utility company, there may be millions of end users. We can't directly go and meet them and understand their requirements, right? But end of the day, your software, what we are going to develop for the customer, is being used by those end users. So there is a challenge now. How we are going to meet the challenge? I'll explain in the next slide. Impact on requirement management. When the users, they themselves are changing, right? The existing business users in an organization, they are not able to give a requirements to develop a new software, because it is a dynamically changing the digital technologies, because which are totally changing the business process, what we saw. B, the office users, they may not be business users, they may not be able to visualize how the global competition is going to impact their own business, right? And they're not even clear what is the pulse of their end customers, right? So what is the solution for this? The solution for this is, today for IT industry, we have to think like a startup, right? We have to think like a startup, where it is not the trend has to change. It's not that go and ask that what is it you want, right? We have to visualize in that business segment how the industry is going to move down the lane next 2 years, next 3 years, right? And go and recommend to the customer, look, your industry is going to move like this, and this is the process we'd like to recommend, right? So think like a startup and work like a startup, and follow and understand the likely trends. So we need to understand, well, like we said, now entire globe is accessible to everybody. Any customer can buy from anywhere, right? So now we have to understand the trends in the market across the globe in that particular business segment, and we have to apply the design thinking methodology to come with solutions to address the problem what we discussed just now, right? So users are not going to be the people who are in office, and the requirements can't be given to the only office users. So you need to get into this startup culture and understand the trends in the market to define the requirements and help the customer. So this impact on the the user and requirement. So once you gather the users, understand the requirements, then we get into pricing models, right? You have to see how much it costs, right? So conventional pricing models no more help now, right? Typically people are used to fixed price and T&M pricing models, right? They may be there for some more time, but customers are expecting a completely outcome-based pricing models, right? Because customers wants to de-risk themselves further, right? This has been the trend for quite some time, right? They want to have more outcome-based. So show the outcome, then only the payment will happen to the service providers, right? And they're not willing to take the risk with a new processor. This is another reason, because when we implement a new process, right? So it's not proven, in the market, right? So that's why customers may not be able to take a risk completely until unless it is implemented, it yields the results and gives the benefits. Then these are the two reasons why the existing pricing models, standard T&M fixed price, may not work. So IT team should be able to think beyond, right? So you should be able to think about innovative pricing models, right? You should have for that, you should have a thorough knowledge of the customers' knowledge at their own business. Should be able to define their business outcome. It should be clear and tangible outcome should be defined. You should be able to define that. Should ensure successful implementation of the solution, right? Because unless until it is implemented, is successfully and it's defined and is measured and proven back to the customer, you will not get your payment from the customer, right? It is linked to that. So that is the kind of challenges there in IT systems today, IT service providers. So pricing models are also changing. Need of today that how do you conceive innovative pricing models? It could be different ways. It could be unit-based, usage-based, transaction-based, ticket-based. It should be something different which will help the customer instead of getting into a routine T&M and fixed price models. So there is a change in this model as well. Impact and architecture design. Now, in the current mode of solution what we provide, right? It is based on the functionality-based architecture, right? Customer want this kind of functionality, and the architecture will be designed according to that, right? But the challenge today is customers want omni-channel. They want any kind of access to tomorrow. They suddenly come and say, my competition is having a cloud-based this thing. I want to have a cloud for myself. And my competition having a mobile solutions for their sales process. Can you provide mobile within next 2 months or 3 months or whatever duration, right? So it is having that kind of pressure coming from the customers to use the make best of the digital technologies to improve their business, right? And penetration of the smart devices, it is another important thing which is impacting, right? And real-time access, need for real-time access and need for a continuous reception. So because of these reasons, the existing conventional functional-based architecture will not be able to give a solution to the customers, right? That's where actually we need to get into interaction-oriented integration. So this is the new methodology, of integration, which will address the problem which I've mentioned above. It has a capability to dynamically give omni-channel based access, do a dynamic setup of the changes which are required by the customer. So that's what actually the change in the architecture design aspect as well because of digital. Work location. We are looking at the different aspects of how it's impacting software delivery, right? Work location. Work location also is going to change now. Not only location, the way you are going to deliver the mode and style. Because in the digital context, most of the interactions are going to be physical with the customer. So we need more people sitting at on-site with close interactions. That is one of the reasons. And also, of course, there is a lack of skill availability. There are some more reasons which analysts quote, due to which they see that in the digital projects, at least for coming some more times, is going to be more on-site component compared to offshore component, right? So we should be, the delivery culture should be in a position to manage majority people sitting at on-site are spread across the globe, not at offshore, but still we should be able to deliver the solution, right? And also the millennial generation, they expect a flexible work locations, right? People prefer even working from home, working from different timings. So there should be a flexibility given there. And there's also crowdsourcing, another concept which is there, right? It's not that your own project team are there to help you in developing a solution, right? You can also use the crowdsourcing methodology, right, to use resources available across the organization. Maybe some people may be available in a free pool, use them and develop the solutions. So the way you are going to manage the projects is also going to change. Location or style of working style. Infrastructure setup, right? This is a positive change rather, in the sense, compared to previous times now, thanks to cloud technology, where you can quickly set up the infrastructure, mobilize the people, and it is very flexible for you to operate with the cloud-based infrastructure and deliver the projects as soon as you mobilize the team. The previous kind of challenge which used to be there were mobilize the required hardware, software, and set up those things. Then only you start delivering the work is taken care now. So there are some kind of a testing process. As we seen earlier, users now, they're not only the people who are there in the organization business users. The users are also there spread across. They are the end users. So then who will test the software, right? Now millions of the people, your end user, they can test the software without they knowing that they are even testing the software, right? So today in the market, we have products like Google Analytics, Omniture, etc., right? Which have a capability. You develop a software and leave to the users and community, and these products will help you to identify that which are the pages which people are liking, which options within a particular page they are accessing more, how much time they are spending on a particular page. It does a complete analysis and gives the complete output to you. That helps us to conceive the features of end product. So things like this will help you to make your end business community to come and test the product, but they're not ever that they are going to test the product. People like Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, all these organization, they use this methodology, right? Use this kind of sophisticated tools today, because end of the day, those end customers are going to use the software, and that's the reason why we need to take their inputs, what their preferences. So these are the kind of changes which are coming in the testing. Quality management, like when the process itself is changing, your software model itself changing from waterfall to agile, and all the other subsequent process are changing, your quality metrics also have to change. Your conventional quality metrics may not be really useful, applicable. So we have to get into a new way and change into agile. In agile world, the metrics could be for a satisfaction. For example, net promoter score. Right, this is one good metric to measure the satisfaction level of the customer. Team member happiness. If you want to measure the maturity level, what is the ratio of successful sprints? Right, what is the estimation accuracy? Is there estimation accuracy, is it increasing? Is it increasing trend or decreasing trend? How it's going on? Story points committed versus delivered, right? For alignment point of view, the metrics from alignment point of view, what is the business value earned during the sprint, right? Is it ROI as per the requirement, as per the plan, what you could achieve, right? So from quantity metrics point of view, you can see that velocity of the story point delivered, how many delivered, how many planned, sprint down, burnout. See, it's a totally different kind of metrics. The metrics in agile world are more closer to the actual delivery, customer satisfaction, and they will help you. They'll help you to measure the health of your project much better. So the quality management system also is going to get impacted. So broadly, if you want to summarize, the key aspects are digital is not a technology alone, because most of the people are with an impression that digital is some technologies, right? It is not only technology. It is, yes, it is a technology, but it is mainly focused on that reinventing the business, redefining the business using the technology. We hired our people agile, and in fact, all the people who are listening to this, I'm not sure how many of you are already into agile. If not, I strongly recommend you to become agile certified, which is very, very important. If you are into IT project management, is a project management, project leaders, delivery managers, program managers, any of these kind of technical roles in IT, you please focus on agile certification, because that is going to be the future completely. Digital has a significant impact on each and every phase activity of SDLC, what we suggest now, right? Every activity is getting impacted because of this. Cybercrime is the biggest hindrance for digital. Same Gartner predicts that around 65 to 70% of the digital projects may have a problem by 2020, because cybercrime is one thing which is a major issue in digital. Project management experience in waterfall model helps in moving to digital, right? So some of the people are in the impression that will my current experience in a waterfall will be really helpful or not? It is very much helpful, because any experience in software delivery using a waterfall will be used even in agile. In the sense, as I mentioned, each sprint again follows the agile methodology in that, waterfall methodology in that. So focus areas is that what I thought should be think and work like startups. That's what I expected in today, and understand the trends in the real related business domains across the globe. Because when we want to, whether you are going as an external IT service provider or within internal IT, right? When you are going to your business, right, you need to understand what is the change in the business, in the trends across the globe, for us to give a right solution to the customers. And focus on a T-shaped learning. So this is a new concept people would like to focus as far as the learning is concerned. So there should be T-shape is called a breadth of knowledge. Considering the current today's digital technologies and their impact on the entire IT industry, there should be every IT professional should have a breadth of knowledge, right? You need not have to get into the depth of every technology, but you should get into depth of at least one technology which is close to your expertise. Someone is, SAP kind of background, you need to have, SAP related digital projects at depth. Or if someone is from infrastructure, get into cloud. You choose, maybe cloud should be close fit for you. Get into the depth of that. So have a breadth of different digital technologies available in the market, and have depth, get into depth of at least one or two technologies that will help you. So in fact today it is the entire learning process also has become online. It's called MOOCs today. It's called Massive Open Online Courses. So there are I give some examples here: Udemy.com, Allison.com. There are so many good online training service providers, right, where you could learn about any of these technologies. It could be technical, or it could be things like a design thinking. Anything which you would like to learn, nowadays is through MOOCs only. Become agile professional, as I mentioned earlier. So these are the focus areas which will help IT professionals today to become digital and stay relevant. So that's what actually I thought highlight during session, how digital is having impact on IT entire process. Specific what we saw today is about the development projects. Now let me take a couple of questions here. What are the takeaways we should consider? Agile. What are the Agile? Tarun Kumar, he said that no. What the question is? What are the takeaways we should consider Agile? The takeaway we should consider, Tarun, is that Agile is the future. In fact, today already more than 25% of the projects already are deep into Agile. And if you want to continue in this IT industry, you should have a knowledge on Agile. So that key takeaway is learn about Agile, get certified, so that you can manage Agile-based projects as well. Can you please say something about the Agile certification? That's over. How will the documentation of the process and deliverables affected due to this? Anjan. How will the documentation of process and deliverables affect due to this? See, in fact, Anjan, in Agile, there is no concept of documentation. Unlike you have a waterfall where you do requirement document, detailed design specifications. See, Agile doesn't go by documentation. Agile goes by almost nil documentation, right? So you have to certainly people have to have there's a concept that daily Scrum. People understand, and people get the clarity from the product owners, and they get into direct development mode. So very less documentation. So that's what actually is one of the major changes between compared to waterfall and Agile. How important? How Agile exactly helps in this digital? How Agile exactly helps in this? Helps in digital transformation. I think Krishna Kishore. I think I already answered because there are two reasons why Agile is become a very prominent. Number one, this is one reason. One is irrespective of digital, right? Customers in a waterfall, they used to get the end output only after the end of the project, and it could be a totally different than what they anticipated. So they don't want those kind of surprise. That is the reason why Agile has become as one of the solution. This is irrespective of the digital, right? Now, other reason why Agile has become very prominent is because the change, the new process, business process, what we are going to implement for a customer, right, is going to be an innovative one, a new one, which may not be proven on the ground. Customers don't want to take a complete risk, right? Giving a project which is 6 months or 9 months duration, and then they realize something is wrong. So that's why the new business processes which are being implemented, they want to implement in an iterative mode using Agile. So that is also one more reason why Agile is becoming much more prominent in the digital context. Can you please elaborate on Scrum and user stories? Sagar Shinde. See, Sagar, that is Scrum and user stories is the totally, Agile related topic. That itself will become another topic. So my recommendation would be you please get into any Agile certification where you will be able to cover those things, because that itself is a separate topic which can be covered here. How do you see AMS will be impacted in digital technology? So as I mentioned, this topic, this is a Mitrandi Banerjee. Banerjee, as I mentioned, this topic is specific for development, but however, application management support also is getting impacted due to Agile. For example, of course, there is a separate topic which to be taken up as a separate session. But one example I can give here, if you do like in AMS, you get the different tickets from the customer of different priorities, P1, P2, P3, P4, right? So now we have artificial intelligence technology, for example, IBM Watson or Wipro Homes. You have different artificial intelligence products, right? They read the ticket details from the tool. It could be Remedy or whichever it is, right? And they know that what is the solution. If at all that similar ticket has come in the past, they can find out the solution for that. And if it is resolvable automatically, they can even do that without even assigning to an engineer. Or at least, they can find out what the nature of the ticket. They can identify and assign to the right engineer. Also giving the recommendation if at all similar ticket has come in the past. So the artificial intelligence product, which is going to save phenomenal amount of time, right? In fact, there are some projects people have used this using artificial intelligence where there are 500,000 test cases were there, and this AI product has gone through all the 500,000 test cases which are written by this organization over a decade of time, and they identify which are all the redundant test cases. So which is practically not possible through manually, which is possible through artificial intelligence. Which certification program do you recommend? As you referred everyone to take the certificate to remain relevant. So weird. So I suggest you can do any Scrum certification because different organizations provide their own certification. We can do that. There's no restriction. Or you can go to Alliance certificate, which is one of the standard as far as Agile is concerned. Alliance Group, right? You can just Google and find out. They also conduct a 2-day workshop. You can attend that workshop, and at the end of the workshop, they give an online link for you to go to the online assessment. So it doesn't matter, which mode you use, because there are different parties also who conduct these Agile training programs, right? But whichever the you attend, I strongly recommend for you to attend and become Agile certified. There are. Let me take one more question. While transforming to digital, you said tech team has to think as a customer. Please advise, Krishna Kishore. Okay, Krishna. What I mean here is the current what do you call the IT function, right? They think, we all think. I'm also part of. We all think that I'm an IT guy. I know technology. I can go and give a technical solution to the customer, but customer has to be what they want because they are the business people, right? So that culture has to change because today's industry, as we said, right, customer, they themselves, they are confused. They don't know in their business what is going to be the process down the line, right? So they are expecting IT professionals not only give a technical solution, but also understand what is happening outside the industry, across the globe in their domain, and give a solution to the customer that yes, for your business down the line, this is going to be the process. So you have to scale up. We have to scale up. We can't be putting ourselves in the technical roles, right? We should also become a techno business kind of knowledge profiles. That's what actually I mean. You have to transform. We have to transform. When you are saying holoporting is future, how on-site presence will make difference? Yes, if Sachin Bhate, right, yes, if we holoporting down very effective, then on-site may not be really required, right? It will come down. In fact, even now, the analysts, what they predict is today, they say that there is going to be more on-site compared to offshore and the digital because A, it is going to be more interaction with the customer. B, there is also lack of skill in India. I mean, if you take our context, right? So that is the reason why they predict that for next coming years, there may be more on-site percentage required. But if you use technology like holoporting so efficiently, it may not be required. It will definitely come down. How the requirement will be freezed if most of the users are not aware of what they need as output, and we agree to execute the project in Agile. Where will we have boundary for it? Anjan Yam, right? See, yes, this is a challenge, right? This is a challenge where users will not be able to specify this is what actually I need, right? So that is the reason why the approach has to change. Suppose you're in hospital industry, right? You're an expert in health area, right? So you have to go back to the hospital, your customer, and say, look, as per our knowledge, right? How the trend is in hospital industry. Down the line, 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, right? These are the likely changes going to happen in the hospital industry, whether it's a doctor booking or patient records tracking or patient doctor interactions or hospital, operation data management, or whichever the process related to hospital, right? We should be in a position to go and recommend to that, right? So that's what actually the culture of the startups, right? That's the reason why startups are becoming very prominent today, right? So some of the analysts say that even a big organization should think like a startup and work like startups. I think let me take one last question because there are so many things I'll be able to. One sec. So how Indian IT giants are going to survive this disruption and depth of their business models? Sai Karthik Iyer. So Sai, how Indian IT giants are going to survive in this disruption and depth of their business? Yes, that's the challenge every IT service provider is facing today, right? The only solution is that people have to understand the digital technologies, right? And the people have to understand how the trends are changing in a particular domain, for the customer's business domain, how the trend is changing across the globe, and then you have to understand the customer specific requirements, the customer specific constraints, and go and propose a solution. So this is going to be a massive change. All the IT companies also in a transformation mode to upgrade their own skills, not only technical but also business. I think we need to take up other questions, too separately. Sabha?
Okay, thanks a lot, Mr. Ranga, for this really empowering and motivating session today. I would also like to thank all our participants for making this webinar a great success. This webinar has been recorded and the recording will soon be available on techgeek.com. Thank you everyone for joining us.